Hello everyone, welcome back to the Crossroads. This is the secret place where we meet each week to talk about all of the secrets of the blues. Today we're going to be talking about how to use arpeggios and think differently in the blues. Now I know you might have seen a lot of videos about arpeggios, but this might be something different. Now we did a video a few weeks ago about the 4 arpeggios you can play over G7. Alright, now one of the arpeggios that we did was if you play from the 5th of G, G, B, D, so that's the 5th note from the scale of G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That note is a D, and if you make an arpeggio from the 5th of G, that gives you a D minor arpeggio. Or D minor 7, I should say. Okay, now, in that little video at the beginning there, that little thing I played, we've got a little kind of blues drone going, but with the slide, all right? So it's really just a G chord, G7 chord, all right? Now, over the top of that, what we normally do is play perhaps a G7 arpeggio. And you can do that, sounds great, but one other thing you can do is combine 2 arpeggios. This is kind of called triad pairs. So if you think of this, that's what I'm playing at the beginning. Okay, now what I'm thinking of over the top of that is this kind of thing. I want to sing a bit here. So if you think da 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 da, that's what I'm playing on the slide, that bit. So what I'm thinking there is 2 arpeggios, D minor and G7, and what you want to try and do is link them both together. All right, so 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what I was doing there is trying to think of D, 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 G7, D minor by the way, D minor. Okay, now let's have a little go at that. I'm going to start in this shape, D minor to G7. I'll kind of tell you when I change. So here's D minor. That's G7 there, so that's all D minor there. G. D minor to G. Okay, so when you're mixing these 2 ideas together, what is most important, as I said in the last video, and by the way, you can check out the arpeggio video up here, you know, is you have to resolve them. So what I mean by that, if you're playing D minor like this, and you're not resolving it to G, it's not going to work. So you've got something like this. So I went to the B, which is the 3rd of G there. Then I finished on the D, which is the 5th of G. Right, so you have to resolve it. So see if you can take that concept. Now the other thing is you've got to keep it kind of bluesy, don't you? So you could do this kind of thing that we did before. So really I'm playing arpeggios there, I'm just thinking of that. D minor to G7. But what if we played the D minor arpeggio and then made the G part, when you got to that G part, you know, a bit more bluesy, like if you played a blues lick. So we're making this up here, so let's see. This will probably go wrong, but let's see. So you can still kind of keep it a little bit bluesy there, using some licks, you know. And by the way, if you're doing this style, it doesn't mean to say that you can forget all about the pentatonic scale. You can kind of weave it, you know, in and out. So there I started kind of in pentatonic. And then I kind of went into some arpeggios. So you can mix all these things up. I mean, that's the great thing. Really, when you learn all these scales to sound kind of authentic, you really do want to mix, you know, arpeggios and you know, the pentatonic scale, the major pentatonic, the minor pentatonic, and it starts to sound really nice, you know. But this idea of these triad pairs, in this case, D minor and G7, can sound really good. So you're still just playing, you know, over this G7, but you're making things move a little bit with these triad pairs. There we go. You can have a little go at that. By the way, if you're interested in a slide lesson, do let me know. Be happy to help with that too. Let me know if you've got any questions on this. This was just 2 of the triad pairs you can do. Have a look at that video I did on the 4 arpeggios. That was just G7, D minor. There's a few other options. You can do loads of options actually. Anyway, thanks very much for joining me at the Crossroads this week. Good to see you. If you know any friends who want to join us next week at the Crossroads, bring them along. All welcome. See you next time.